And welcome back. It is Saturday. As you can see, we're lighting change up, so it's a little bit odd. Birds are in the background. I apologize in advance. They are going to be loud. They're kind of full of piss and vinegar today. I don't know what's up with them. Again, as usual, I just want to give you a heads up. Occasionally, I will have to mute my mic. Usually, you'll hear my phone ringing before that. I do run a small business, which means no time off. It's not a thing we do. We just don't get time off as the owners of the company. So when the phone rings, I have to answer it, book people in, and during that time, you may see me activate the bot um, and go silent for a few minutes. I usually like to give you a heads up, but we'll see what happens. We're level 43. We've been at this for a little bit now. We've done a couple of trains. We've done a fair bit of dispatching. None of it on stream except for I think last session. You can see under the eyes I'm bloody fried. I don't know why. We'll recover someday somehow. I'm not sponsored or anything, but if you know, you know. 60 years, not me, but they're apparently only 20 years older than I am. 22 years older than I am. Anyways, let's get going. We're going to go into multiplayer. We're going to go into the EN1 because at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, it is 6 o'clock in England, depending on where you are in England. And that's usually when EN1 is busy. And EN1 tends to be the busiest server because the English tend to know more about Poland than we do over here on this side of the pond. As you can see, there are 31 player control trains out of 87 possible. 27 dispatchers in the 34 stations that are controllable. And my ping, being overseas, I'm at 150 milliseconds. So it's not great. Let's take a look and see. We'll go with the drive. So we have a bunch of Pendolinos, as we always do, because, of course, it is the evening rush hour. So we've got 4 of those available. Looks like they're all on the number 1 line. One of them has a couple hours left in its trip. Oh, it's barely started. And then we have a few more Pendos. And then we get into the other trains. The 186 tracks doesn't have the ETCS. Speaking of which, last week before, I think it was the week before, we got news that European train control system is coming to North America for the first time. We're getting the ETCS on the GO regional lines in Ontario, the Metrolinx GO Transit, which is pretty big news. It's the first time we've had anything of the sort over here. We've got the PTC, Positive Train Control, which is not the same thing. Hopefully that'll mean what they claim it's going to mean, with shorter headways, more trains on the same tracks, less delays, yada, yada, yada. Somehow I don't believe it at all. We'll see. What do we got going? Oh, we have a Dragon 2 that is 2 hours of run from Aponsno Poludi to Miyakov. Yeah, let's do that. We're going to do cargo this time. And as usual, this channel is sponsored by one company and one company only, and that sponsorship is me, Artificers Deliveries. If you're in Ontario, specifically in the Kitchener, KW, Waterloo, Guelph, Fergus, that general area west of the GTA, give us a call. You know how to find us. If you don't, visit your local restore. Maybe you'll find us there. So yeah, let's see what we got going on. Audio is coming in from the wrong place. So let's fix that even before we take the bot off. Because that is a problem. I don't know what it is, but every time I get on stream, my face gets itchy. And I apologize for that. And wouldn't you know it, first mute of the session. I will be back. Well, as you can probably guess by the fact that I'm already back in the stream, no sale. Okay, not a big deal. Where are we at? Let's grab our timetable here, close it up, and we are all set up at this point to take over route number 132033 from the AI. We're coming up on Pilavice, which means we are about a little more than halfway through the route, which is unfortunate, but we'll do what we gotta do. We are in SHP control, and we're gonna get our first little blip, which is there, and our speed limit is 100, so we're gonna set that cruise control for 100, and we're gonna boost that throttle right up. So at this point, we are staff monitored. We're not automated, really, in any way. We've crossed through Polodny. We're going to Biljevice, Oslamivice. I don't know how to pronounce these, and I apologize to all my Polish friends because someday I really should learn this. All right. So as you can see on our timetable, we're restricted to 100 for the rest of the trip, unless we get other advisories. I'm just looking at the timetable here. Actually, why don't we go through that together? So as you can see in the timetable, our speed for freight, we're looking at 100 for pretty much the whole trip. They like keeping the freight a little bit slower. We'll be on line number 4, then line number 570, then line number 64, then line number 8. We're kind of getting routed. At Percy, we're going to have a stop, and we got another stop coming up for about 30 minutes at Oslamivice. Now, we could, when we get closer, find out, do they need us to stop? They probably do. And they're probably going to stop us. So we'll see what happens. So we'll see. And we'll just keep that little beeper going as we go down the track. Keep the dead man switch off. Enjoy the beautiful Polish scenery in our Dragon. And of course the joke is there, how do you train your Dragon? Well, you train it like this, I guess. We do have a container train today. It's not too bad. I do find that the train timetables that we have in this game they're pretty short for freight. But then again, I come from North America, Canada. Mile, 2 mile, 3 mile trains, that's the norm here. It's just the way we've allowed the train companies to expand their services in terms of freight. However, it's come at the detriment of passenger rail service, which now we're trying to, claw back and fix, which is never as easy as doing it right the first time, but whatever. It is what it is. So yeah, all in all, we're chugging along pretty good, keeping it going. And it looks like we might have a approach signal coming up in about 1.5 kilometers. Worst case scenario, that's going to bring it down to 60, but looks like it's going to be 100. We are probably gaining on some other traffic, and that's why we're going to end up having to sit in a siding for a bit while they route some traffic around us. Because whereas we are allowed 100 kilometers an hour, 132,033, that's us, exit given to, great. So we've been cleared through the next section from 3 kilometers out. Our light has changed from yellow to green, so we're cleared through, which is great. So again, we don't have to slow down. We're just going to keep it going. And we got a couple of things going on here. We'll keep trucking along. Kind of keep an eye on our rails and make sure we don't have any signals coming up, any signs coming up that we got to worry about. One thing that I haven't figured out in this locomotive is the neutral sections. In the Pendolino, you actually have a button, which I'm assuming just temporarily disconnects the feed from the pantograph to prevent crossover or something. I'm not sure how that system works. Whereas in this locomotive, I'm not sure how that gets handled. I find that I don't know where the handles are. I don't know if they're hidden somewhere or what. So, it would be nice to know, but, again, I'm not going to, focus on it. Alrighty. And we're coming through Ulice now. We got 17 kilometers to Uzlumivice. We are 42 minutes delayed, so they might not actually make us stop. They may let us carry on, which we could reach out, but we're going to reach out more about 10K out. Instead, we're just going to let the cruise control stay. One 32033. Those 32033 Osmo Vice. He signed off. It went bot. Alright, now we get to see whether they're going to stop us or keep us rolling. But because it's a bot, they're probably going to stop us. I hate when that happens. It would have been so nice if we could have kept rolling. But they're going to stop us. It's a pretty easy line right now. Not a whole lot going on. We're going through the trees. 100 kilometers an hour. Got some containers behind us, pushing us down this long, gradual grade. I can't remember if we're going to hit into any of the ETCS or not. I don't think we will. It would be nice to see an update with some more ETCS support some of the newer locomotives, like the Trax, the 186, the other Dragon locomotive. I'm not sure if it's in the Flirt or not, but it'd be nice to see it in the Flirt if it is. But again, no idea if it is or not, so we'll see. Yeah, we'll just keep trucking it into the station. See what they do with us, because it is still AI, unfortunately. And as long as it is AI, you can tell that over here on the timetable. And it is a bit of a pain in the butt, but not much we can do about it. So yeah, the other thing too is, wow, my camera is really large. Let's fix that for you. No, wrong one. That does not need to be so large. Put that up over here. So yeah, pretty straightforward. Not a whole lot to do except, you know, hit the dead man switch and keep an eye for signposts. And we got another signal coming up, 105.3, I think that mile marker was. 115.5. 115.7. Okay. So actually, on our timetable, 115.7. The station is at 124.28. So yeah, with that in mind, that's 116. 16 and a half. So yeah, we got our mileposts. Actually, we can see them for once. 7, 8, 9. That should be 117. Oh, 116.9. And a train coming at us. We can see if they are a player or not. They are. Nice to see them go whipping by. 100 kilometers an hour in the opposite direction. Crew alert and okay, so we got given the clear through because we are running behind. So that brings us 30 minutes closer to on time, which should put us 12 minutes behind schedule once we get through. We're supposed to cross at 18:13, and it is 18:50. Yeah, let's pick up that half an hour by not stopping for the technical break. And not only that, you don't want to watch me sit in the train sat still for that long. That would be a rather boring stream. Alrighty. See those signs there, we're in that neutral section and the end of the neutral section. And I'm not sure what that actually is for. I would have to talk to somebody who is in the know. I'm not. We don't have electrified rail. And I'm not a train operator. So yeah, there's all of that as a factor. Let's keep this rolling. What do we got going on up here? Which mile marker is that? Mile marker 120-3. Okay. Mile marker 120-3. All right. Okay. 300 meters to the light. And you can see in our advisories that the speed limit's going to increase to 160, but we are not capable of 160. Our Vmax is 100. It's actually 120, but with the weight that we've got on, we're rated for 100. We're kind of stuck. So yeah, there's all that. We are gonna keep on trucking, get rolling down the road. And see what we got going on ahead of us. Shunt signals, or substitute signals, I should say. Really, shunt signals. So not too much to worry about. Bumper. And we're over the points. Looks like the ETCS is going to get expanded out here at one point. Those lights are forward. But not for a while yet. They're not all installed. Our lights on the gantry ahead of us. We'll pick up a fair chunk of time as we pass through this section here. Aw, that was not a player. It was a bot. Alrighty. 27 kilometers to the next point, so it's about 15 minutes. Got a fair bit of distance to go. And by listening to the radio, I now know that we have a Pendolino behind us. Hi! Maybe if we're really lucky, Bluebell will come and say hi to the camera. Instead of just making all kinds of noise. Do you want to come sit up? No? Okay. Alrighty. Got a green light ahead of us. Another alert. And clear aspect. Got a roadway beside us. And the speed limit's obviously like 60 or something, because we're just zipping past everybody. Oh. Did I just see a truck? I did. Saw a couple of trucks. Okay. Well, anyways. Hi. Hi. Got a little Bluebell. Little Bluebell. What are you doing? Now we're getting into the agriculture, so we're getting closer to township again. Just keep moving. And again, we got green light. There's clear aspects. 22 kilometers to our next station. We're at 1 now. Just carry things along as we just keep moving. Keep moving on. Things are gonna get better. Really, there's not a lot on this line. If I check the timetable again, at Percy, which is 2 stations ahead of us, we do have another technical stop where we're supposed to stop for 3 minutes. But as we're already well behind schedule, I'm not sure that they're going to make us stop for that. And in fact, my guess would be that they're not going to. Also, we're in the radio frequency 1 section, or preset 1, so we'll see. 1 second here. I really do need to get my hair cut one of these days. on down the road. Really isn't much to look at when you're on the train, I guess. It's unfortunate. But with this view, we can kind of see everything. We can tell that our traction motors are doing well. The heat levels in them are low. We're not experiencing any slip. Got 100 set, and we're doing 98. We're in our SHP control. It's not changing anytime soon. There's our SHP alert. And same thing over here. And we can tell we're doing 32% throttle. That's being adjusted automatically because we do have the cruise control set. But all things considered, we're just, you know, boogie boogity boogity. It's probably not a good sign if the streamer themselves is yawning. But again, this is driving a train when there's nobody to talk to because all the dispatchers want to leave their stations before you get there. There's another bot train. But then again, it is, you know, dinner time, their time. Let's keep trucking it. Truck. Where are we at now? 15 kilometers to Pullman. Switching out power lines. So we must be on a new sub. We have a clear aspect ahead of us again. It's really just a, you know, catch-up phase. Not a whole lot of adjustment for me to do or anything. It's pretty hard to make a steady train trip interesting. So we're just standing by, I guess. Yeah. It's kind of random intervals. There doesn't seem to be any sequence to when the alert system goes off. It's like every 2 seconds or every 30 seconds or so for the crew alert, and then much more randomized for SHP. So the two vigilance systems, I'm not sure. There doesn't seem to be really any pattern to it that I've discerned. Oh, yay, we can blow the horn. First time in a while, which means we've got a road crossing coming up. There's our level crossing. See anything going on? And we're good to keep going. Clear aspect. Can't hear Napoca. It's too far away. We're just kind of keeping an eye on things and seeing where status is at. There's our crew alert again. Should be on the front or the rear? Should be on the rear pantograph. Still boogity, 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 boogity. And now you can see as we go into a downgrade and the braking kicks up, you can see our traction motors start to heat up a little bit as they generate, as they flip into generation. So basically, we're generating power and feeding it back into the stream. And then we start the hill climb again, and they initially cool off and then start heating up again. Maybe we can actually detail in on those panels. Yeah, so you can see the white is how much power we're drawing off of them, and the blue is the temperature that they're sitting at. And right now they're 50 degrees C, just under 50 degrees C, so they're pretty warm. I wouldn't want to stick my hands on them. They're a little bit hotter than a bathtub, but a little bit hotter than a comfortable bath. Dispatcher, driver. So that's a bot train. We're 5 kilometers out. And we'll just check the timetable again. So we don't have a PT here, so we're not stopping. Napoca, no stopping. Our Percy, we have up to a 3-minute stop, and we'll see where they stick us at. Oops, missed a sign. So we're not getting any audio out of Boca. I'm not sure if we're too far away or what the deal is there. But again, clear aspect. if we check, we're going to still be on line number 4, so there's nothing to worry about coming through here. However, we do have a an approach aspect, so not sure what that's all about. We're going to slow this down to 60. Yep, we do have an approach.
Sean, you're here? We went like 6 hours ago when I came with the university from Warsaw to Katowice. You're really smart.
I've been here since 9 o'clock and I'm planning to be here.
Yeah.
I have no life beyond a sheep. Bah.
So when the train goes, then you go eat some fresh grass. Yeah.
People have been dropping off me, like proper Warsaw grass.
Me.
Alright, so we're set for 100, accelerating back up.
Someone made me caffeinated grass as well.
Yeah.
Alright, we're
That
going
was
to check
fun.
our timetable again.
Of course.
Check the timetable, and the Napoleon's not going to stop us, but sorry, might. We'll see what happens. What we're trying to pick up. And we are going to hit the TCS, so we're going to get the notification now that we're going into level 2. And we'll start to get the alerts in a moment here. There's the shunt limit. speed limit increases to 200. Again, our max limit according to timetable is 100, so we're not going to exceed that. And look at that, we caught 32 minutes onto our schedule. There's our alert that we're going to be confirming for level 2. And like I said, this system is actually coming to North America in basically central Ontario, Toronto to Kitchener, Hamilton, Niagara Falls, Whitby, Oshawa, and I think that's about it. So it's going to be a pretty interesting thing to see that go active. And there we go. So we are in a non-stopping area. If we stop in here for any reason, we'll be in an unsafe position. We are no longer in the SHP. We're in crew alert only. And we can actually increase our throttle now. Pull, and we're out of the, or sorry, we're back in the non-stopping area. Right now we are in a climb, as you can see by the white bars indicating that we are a 5%, not a 5%, but like 25% or something like that. And then we're going to go into a descent here in a couple of meters. And you can see we've got a approach signal ahead of us. And a W18, which is a negative. Okay. Oh, we got our authority. So we're going to keep it set for 100. So that authority jump there, that was a interesting little tidbit. Just as we started to prep for the slowdown, we got our authority, so we didn't have to do it. And this is why I like the ETCS. It instead of having to read so far ahead of yourself on the track, you can kind of catch up on things like as they happen. You get the information to you earlier, so you can better plan your route. So we're now 12 minutes behind, which, you know, isn't the end of the world. And according to our timetable, we're going to be going into Percy here in a little bit and switching over to line 570. And I think once we're on 570, we come off the ETCS. I'm not sure, but I don't think we're on it for very long. So to kind of describe what we've got going on here, we have the hook. This is our speed limit, and it adjusts according to our braking curve, etc. Over in here, you can't see it right now, but there would be a braking square, which would indicate the amount of braking that we need to do, moderate, light, moderate, heavy, depending on what the expectation is for our braking scenario. A few other kind of details. This tells us that we are under staff monitoring. We're level 2 level 2 ETCS and GSRM with our trackside devices. This symbol here coming up indicates that we have a no stopping area, and then a neutral track area, and the end of the neutral track area. This is our operating authority. As you can see, our limit right now is, we zoom in a little bit, you can see our limit is 4 kilometers ahead of us, and our operating authority extends past that. So we're allowed down the track for more than 4 kilometers right now, which is great. Knowing that this far in advance, it allows us to kind of smooth out our braking, etc. That's our no stopping area, heads up. .9. Our green light, so we've got a green aspect at the 170. Crew alert, and of course we're not getting SHBs anymore because we're on the ETCS, which overrides the SHB. They kind of integrate with each other, which is kind of a nice thing to have. So now we can kind of more cleanly predict where things are going to be. Plus we get a relay of all of our signage into the cab, with the exception of our mile markers. Aspect clear.
Sorry to 132.
One 132.033, go ahead, sorry.
Do you have any gifts for sheep?
That'd be a negative on board unless one of those containers behind me has some hay bales for you.
Be routed to the 40 kilometers per hour.
All right, sorry, I barely caught the end of that there. Okay, we are in the no stopping area, and sorry, could be stopping us for the PT. 132.033, sorry. We're seeing a 3-minute technical stop on our timetable. Are you going to push us through, given that we're 12 behind? Appreciate it. You too, enjoy the shift. Sounds like you're having a good time up there. And we'll give him a little beep beep as we go by his
32 left, yes, sir. Sorry, can you say it again?
Alright, we just got switched over to Sarnie.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
And there we go. We are on to line... We'll be on to line 570 now. and we'll be coming off of the ETCS here shortly, if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, we're getting upgraded to ETCS level 1. Okay, this is good news. We're 9-minute delay. Kozlov, we're supposed to have a 15-minute stop, but we are 9 minutes behind. I wonder if they're going to make a stop. We'll find out soon. Neutral section. All right. So we're showing a dead stop in 14 kilometers, which is real high. Because Krova hasn't given us over to Kozlov. So we got some time. New symbol on the ETCS. We've got a horn indicating when we should be honking our horn. So that's going to give us another another piece of information, so that we're less likely to miss it. Which is great. Crew alert. Ballasts, pick up more information for the train. And we are on the downgrade now. And on the downhill side, you can see the regenerative braking is kicked in. And we'll just check those temperatures and see where we're at to now. Those regens are up to 71.1. So you can see they generate a fair bit of heat when they start flipping into the braking. Generate heat and electricity, push the electricity back up into the wire and feed the next train down the line. It's actually a pretty good idea. Because it shares power amongst the units, so I think it's a good idea. Electrification. But what do I know? I'm just an operator. I work the machines. I don't, 3-minute delay. So we have picked up 30. Yeah, we've picked up over 30 minutes in this short run. That's pretty decent, actually. A little bit of help from the dispatchers, and we've picked up our... A little bit of help from dispatchers, not making us do the technical stops, and we're back on schedule. We're almost back on schedule. We're 3 minutes behind. So who knows? By keeping the trains moving, they're doing a good job. Keeping us cooking. So yeah, we're moving pretty decent. All in all, it's a pretty decent sim. This especially with this latest update, adding in the ETCS. This really does help us here. As you can see, we've got another neutral section coming up in 4 kilometers. For another 250, we're on the downhill, and then we start climbing again. .3. If I remember correctly, this line's a short line, so if maybe counting down. 24.9, it is counting down. Okay. So yeah. Goodbye, Pendolino. Oh! Hello, car. What are you doing there? That's a, that's one for the developers. You have a car on the tracks. It looks like it missed the bridge. Drunk driver? Well, he's not on the tracks. He's on the ballast. Looks like he may have been cleared off by one of the other trains. The chittering you hear in the background on occasion, like right now, is the 3 Budgies. There are commentators once in a while. So we'll keep this running, trucking along. Heading down the track to Skrova. And to our 3 viewers, thanks for dropping by. I know it's a rather, train streams are quite often kind of boring. Well, if everything is going smoothly, they're kind of boring. It's when we have to suddenly stop with no apparent reason. 22 kilometers left in this track, and our operating authority is ending in a little over 4 kilometers, which we can verify. Oh, we're getting into a section of level crossings as well. Of them to be precise. So there's our double triangles. And then we got another couple coming up. 1 kilometer to go to the next one. At the level crossing. We'll send out the big alert for the next one. And we still don't have our operating authority 2 kilometers out. So we're going to have to start braking soon. One and a half kilometers to the end of our operating authority. And there's our braking alert. And we got our operating authority. Great. So just as we were about to start braking, we got our operating authority and no longer had to brake. That's great news. And this is why the ETCS system is awesome, because it saves wasted energy and fuel. It also allows you to keep those it allows you to keep the trains flowing, and if you can keep the trains flowing, you have less braking and acceleration between the trains, which, you know, reduces the amount of space that they need between each other if they're all flowing at the same rate. And we're coming up to the end of the ETCS level now, which means we're going to be going back into SHP here. Level crossing, and I saw a car coming up to it. Hi, Bluebell. We got another level crossing. We've got a few of them in this section of track. Level crossing, a few cars are stopped. There we are. Brake pressures are still looking good. Mind you, we haven't had to use them in like over an hour. Wow. Now it's like half an hour. And we're only 2 minutes behind schedule now. So we're actually, we're making time by not having to stop, which is great. And by keeping that speed right at the, like within 4%, we're making time pretty well. Another set of signals. At a bot train? Yeah, it's a bot train. It is not a bot train. It was a human train. We made a whistle at a human train. Beep beep. Meow. Alrighty. And yet another level crossing. So we're still trucking along pretty decent. 12 kilometers to Kozlov. Kozlov. And the tracks in this area kind of go up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down. It's a little bit of rolling hill. Nothing that this train can't handle. I think that's the chunkiest bit of level crossings. After that, it's mostly just... I think it's mostly just getting back into the urban environment. Right now we're just booking it through the Polish forests. "10 kilometers to go." And then we'll be back on one of the main branches instead of these junction branches. That's where we would have had an SHP track, or SHP alert, but we don't anymore. And we're in the downhill section, so we're sitting at the top end of the speed. We got another level crossing up ahead. 412034 is getting cleared to Sprova. So we've got another train coming at us. And we're going to take a quick peek at what's going on. 8 kilometers, 16 kilometers ahead of us. So he's got us cleared through most of Sprova. Or most of Kozlov. I don't think we have much to worry about. So we're just going to keep trucking, keep moving it down the track. And again, we enter another non-stopping area. Because there's probably some bit of weak track or something else that we shouldn't be sitting on if we stop. And again, on downhill. All right. A little bit further to go. Getting into the last bits of the timetable here. If we take another peek. So we're looking at Kozlov and then Tunnel. So we got, you know, not that far to go actually. We are getting back into the urban environment, more and more road crossings. Or the somewhat urban environment, I should say. And now we're only 2 minutes behind schedule, so we've actually picked up a fair bit. And we're back into the uphill climb, so we're going to add power again. But with the Dragon, we have cruise control, so we don't have to worry about it. Locomotive computers will deal with it. Apply the appropriate power to keep us moving at the speed that we want to move, which is 100 kilometers an hour. And I think it maintains it within like 4 or 5% or something like that. So, not much that we need to worry about, unless we get into an overspeed situation, which we don't really, because the regenerative braking kicks in. You know, the stronger it pushes, the more braking, the more effective the regenerative braking, the stronger the braking. It's a beneficial kind of site. And we're back into a neutral and non-stopping area again. Crew alert. And we got nothing to worry about until we get into Kozlov. Although, I do have a disparity here. My operating authority is saying I'm good for 4 kilometers, but my light heads up is telling me that I'm not. There it goes. Okay. Now it's telling me 2 kilometers. Has me stopping for 15. So we'll see if he actually stops me. But I strongly suspect he's going to stop me. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the cruise control off, and reduce the power. And we're going to start cruising to a stop. Now we're coming into Siege. Now we're coming into SHP control, coming out of the ETCS. One kilometer to go. We're going to start applying some braking. Should be able to do it with one level of braking. Here's the end of the ETCS. Regen braking going, 300 meters to the stop. And just as we hit the stop, we got the green light. I hate when that happens. Oh. But that's going to put us ahead of schedule. We're going to hit 250 kilonewtons. And we're just going to kind of hold our throttle to keep that 250 kilonewtons going. Keep that rolling. Keep that big booty rolling. 5 kilometers to 2 now. We're just gonna get this thing going. As you can see, it takes a fair bit once this train is stopped. Because anything really over 250, we start spinning tires, and spinning tires is not good. We're at the shunt limit. Yeah. Just over 250 is pretty much where we hit the limit, so. Say hello to our little friend here. and we'll keep it rolling. As you can see, it does take a fair bit to get this thing back up to speed, so that's why I don't like it when they give us the green light right after we stop there. It's rather annoying. Let's go 46. $47. We're gonna get going. Bluebell does like chewing on wood, so he's been chewing on my cupboards, and I don't like it. He's been destroying them. He's been destroying them all, and he's getting fat, which makes me wonder if he's starting to build up wood in his belly. Alright, so we're a little under 250 newtons, 250 kilonewtons, I mean. So we get that power back up. God, it takes a while to get this thing up to speed. Where are we at? 52. We're under 250 again. Coming down into Janelle. Once we get into Tunnel, it is an exit point, so just after Tunnel, I think is where it'll disconnect us out of the multiplayer server, bot control it, take it off the map, and we will be done with it. So feel free to send us a comment, let us know what you thought of the relatively easy stream. Not a whole lot going on in SimRail when we're driving the train. ETCS system, if you got questions, comments, let us know. We'll see what we can do to give you a more detailed impression of how it works. Things you can do to make your jobs easier when you're operating. SimRail's a good game. Not much I can say about it, really. It works. Unlike a lot of games, the multiplayer is synced up pretty well. You can dispatch, you can drive. You see me dispatch last session, you see me drive this session. I think what we're going to do is Saturdays we're going to do a SimRail stream, and then later in the day we might do a Stormworks or something else stream, see how things go. Just kind of simulation Saturdays, you know, go from there. Exiting the tunnel, and we've got a horn. And we came out 15 minutes early. Look at that. We made up an hour, a full hour. We were 42 minutes behind when I took control from the bot. And we are now an hour ahead of that time. That is That's what I like to see. All right. We are well below our 250 newtons. Let's get that back up. Or, sorry, 250 kilonewtons. Let's get that going back up again. We are through Tunnel. That was them in the box there. A little bit of slippage there. And in a moment or so, our bot's gonna kick us off the train. After we exit Tunnel and get into the next section. Coming up on 87. And we are at 100% power. And now we're going to set the cruise control for 100. Which is where it should be. And just as we set the cruise control, we get bumped out. Let's see how we did, shall we? We got a regen factor of 8.9, drove for 117 kilometers. We picked up almost 3,500 XP, so 3465, which is not bad. We recovered 230 kilowatt hours, but we consumed 2,700. If you could see our arrival, we were 42 minutes behind at the beginning. We were 40 minutes, and then we just started making time. Very impressive indeed. Not for me, but for the overall system. I don't think we had any major infractions throughout the run. We had one where we didn't sound the horn. We had a couple where we were driving through the checkpoints late. But for the most part, we did very well. So yeah, good job. With that in mind, we're going to call it here. We've been on for an hour and a half for an hour and 20 train ride. It's been good chatting with you and at you. Hopefully you tune back again soon. We'll be looking forward to seeing you. Next Saturday, we'll do another run. I don't know if we're going to do a train run or a dispatch run. Let me know what you think. Feel free to leave a comment. Let me know. We'll see what we decide to do. All right. Take it easy.